I wonder if you see this new infusion of money making the difference.
Look, it's definitely helpful, but before that even happened, the race was tightening. The momentum has been on our side. The difference is I've been talking about issues, real issues, the economy, inflation, how that's impacted people's lives, our open border and all the problems that come from that. Our broken healthcare system, affordable housing, issues that matter to people here in Wisconsin. Senator Baldwin has spent her whole time just running crazy attack ads, trying to burn me down and get people to hate me. And I think it's just kind of finally backfired because people want to know, how are you going to make their lives better?
Well, sir, as you raise some of the issues you're focused on, one of them that has prominence on your issues page on your campaign website is preventing a debt crisis. And in part, what is on there reads that debt hinders economic growth, creates financial vulnerabilities, and limits our ability to respond to future crises. The Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget has found in its median estimate, it thinks that the plans Donald Trump has put forward, if he is elected, could add $7.5 trillion to the deficit. If he wins and you win your seat and have a chance in the Senate to vote for things like tax policy, would you be supportive of everything that he's put forward? And if so, how do you justify the cost?
Look, the one area that I probably have said that President Trump and I will have different differences of agreement on if we are both elected will be around the debt. Look, it's probably one of the biggest reasons that drove me into it. Great civilizations fail always the same way, whether it was Rome, the British Empire, the Dutch Empire, the great empires that were in China. And that is they first lose their moral compass and then they bankrupt themselves. We have $36 trillion in debt. The interest cost on our debt is $1 trillion a year. We're already in the beginnings of a debt crisis when we're at those levels. And it is the most serious issue we have to tackle. And look, it's largely a spending problem. As we all know, during the COVID lockdowns, they increased spending by 40%. Then the economy started reopening back up at the end of 2020 and the beginning of 21. We should have pulled those spending levels back to pre-COVID levels. But instead, Joe Biden and the Democrats continue to spend even more. And so federal spending has gone up 50%. Now, our population didn't go up by 50%, but that's what they're spending. So, look, I've laid out a whole series of economic proposals, how to deal with the debt and how to get economic growth going. And that is a major issue for me.
Well, I wonder if there's such a thing as good deficits, Mr. Hovde, knowing that Donald Trump added over $7 trillion to the deficit in his first term. There's an argument underway right now in Washington about whether to extend or make permanent the Trump tax cuts. A lot of people think that is worth it and that the economy will grow out of the hole that's blown in the budget here. Where are you?
Look, let's be clear. The bulk of President Trump's deficits that you're talking about happened because we shut down the economy and we cratered the private sector, and we're doing transfer payments to individuals through stimulus checks into businesses. Where under the Democrats, the economy was released and they continued to spend. Look,
so
I do believe that we need to extend the tax cuts for small and medium-sized businesses. They're really small businesses. They're the tax cuts for LLCs and Subchapter S corporations. Why? Because if we let their tax rates rise and big corporations that are largely structured in a C corporation continue to remain at a lower level, which was beneficial and obviously helped grow the economy, then it would be unfair to small businesses. So I do believe we need to create a level playing field because small businesses are the economic engine to our economy. And that's where most of the job creation starts, as small businesses start up and they go from small businesses to mid-sized businesses.
We'd like to turn, sir, to the issue of health care, because earlier this afternoon at an event with the Democratic vice presidential nominee, Tim Walz, your opponent, Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin, had this to say about your thoughts on health care policy. Take a listen.
For you students, raise your hands if you are on your parents' health insurance. My opponent wants to overturn the Affordable Care Act, and he called the provision that I authored to allow young people to stay on their parents' health insurance stupid. That's the stakes. Really, he did. Those are the stakes in this election.
So, sir, what health care policy would you pursue if you were elected to the United States Senate? And knowing that you yourself suffer from MS, I believe you were diagnosed at 27, and we're glad that you are feeling well. What do you make of some of the ideas that have been put forward by Kamala Harris, including providing Medicare coverage for people who need in-home health aides? Is that something you could get behind in a bipartisan manner?
Look, let's back up. First of all, President Obama, when he passed Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, said what? One, healthcare costs will slow down. Two, access to healthcare will increase. And three, you'll be able to keep your family doctor. Now let's look at the results, because in the world of business, results matter. Healthcare costs shot up even more aggressively. Access to care has continued to collapse and has gotten very severe, not only in certain areas of cities like I am in Madison, Wisconsin, but in rural communities. And the family doctor has all but disappeared. Look, I believe in pre-existing conditions, but there is so many changes that need to happen. I could get into it, but it would take a long time. But just to touch on a couple big ones. They allowed monopolies and oligarchies to be created. That makes absolutely no sense. Here I'm standing in Madison, Wisconsin. We allowed our biggest hospital provider, UW Health System, to buy our second biggest hospital provider, Meritor Health. They control over 60% of the healthcare market. Do you really think you're going to get price competition when one party controls over 60%? Of course not. Then they they put in a provision on the medical loss ratio. It'd take too long to get into it, but it had the exact reverse effect of driving health insurers not to push back down on health care costs, but let them run. What we need to do is bring free market solutions. We need to drive price transparency into our healthcare system. And there's so many things that need to be done. And if we don't get serious about this, our healthcare system is going to absolutely collapse, because I'm the last year of the baby boom generation. The first year is 78. And over the next 10 years, the biggest population bubble is going to be using healthcare at an accelerated pace. And our healthcare system is not structured right now to handle this increase of usage. So we better get serious on how to deal with this issue. Senator Baldwin knows nothing about it. She's never had to buy herself insurance because she's been on government health insurance her whole life. I've had to buy thousands of employees. I actually took one of my companies and self-insured and had to figure out all the complications, and I've kept my health care costs in that company flat for 5 years.
Well, look, we like answers, Eric, and it's great to hear a strong opinion on this as opposed to concepts of a plan, as Donald Trump said in the debate. We'd love to continue that conversation with you. In the time that we have remaining, though, I want to remind our listeners and viewers that this is not your first campaign for Senate. As we look back to your race in 2012, what did you learn by losing?
Look, I got into politics because I was very upset of seeing the housing bubble form. I used to be on your show all the time talking about this housing bubble that was coming. Then it obviously collapsed. I was appalled at the policy response, and that propelled me to run. I came close, got beat by a four-time governor. But you learn a lot. You learn a lot about the political process. I thought I was done with this stuff because politics is ugly. And let me tell you, no matter how bad you think it is, it's 10 times uglier than you would imagine. But look, I thought I was done with it, but I got back into it because I love my country. I can't stand what I see happening to my country and on multiple different levels. So, yes, it was obviously helpful going through that experience once before.